and welcome to Founder Freedom from Hustler to CEO, the podcast built for e commerce entrepreneurs and small business owners who are ready to work less, earn more, and scale smarter. Today, we're diving into the world of premium menswear with Andy Fine, founder of Sartoro, a groundbreaking custom suiting brand redefining the bespoke experience for the modern man. Broadcasting from Vietnam, where Sartoro's very own factory operates, Andy shares how his vertically integrated model delivers high-quality, custom-fit suits faster than the traditional tailoring world could ever dream of. With an approach he dubs prime shipping of custom suiting, Andy talks about leveraging AI, user data, and visual inputs to nail fit on the first try, solving one of the industry's most persistent pain points. We'll hear how Sartoro breaks misconceptions about online custom wear and sidesteps mass manufacturing in favor of quality control and customer-first thinking. Whether you're a D2C founder, an e-commerce enthusiast, or simply love a well-fitted suit, you won't want to miss this candid and compelling chat about innovation, expectation management, and why owning your own supply chain can be a game changer. Welcome, Andy. How are you doing today?
Hey, Stephen, thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting with you today. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about Sartoro's value proposition to the world?
Yeah, of course. So at Sartoro, we strive in every way we can to bring the bespoke suit buying experience online, make it more convenient, more affordable, more accessible, more user-friendly to everyone in the US and around the world.
Nice. So what inspired you to create Sartoro?
The story goes back quite a ways. When I was just out of college, I was a groomsman in a good friend's wedding. And he wanted all of us to buy these $1,500 custom suits from quite a nice brand, but it was quite a bit of money, even now, but especially at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it required a fair bit of effort and time, right? We had to all go into their store, had to, arrange the fittings, do a couple different fittings. It was quite a process and quite costly. And I kind of had the inkling then that there should be a better way to do this. That marinated for a while, and I had the opportunity to revisit it in 2020 when I first started working heavily on Sartoro. And yeah, we set out to just make a better way to take this traditional process online,
Mm-hmm.
but do so in a way that kind of address the shortcomings of the big players that we see participating in the space, namely in customer service, in quality, and just the general user experience from start to finish.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think as a male, I can definitely relate to your experiences early on. It's really rough when you're a young person just starting out and everybody's getting married and you got to come up with all these clothing rental fees that they didn't teach you about in school when you were growing up. That's
Yeah,
for
we're,
sure.
we're big on the anti-rental game. We think that just the economics of purchasing away renting, unless it's something that you'll never wear again, get a great custom suit and you wear it a few times, your cost per wear is going to be less than that of a rental, especially with what rentals are costing these days.
Sure. Yeah. And it makes you feel good.
That's right.
So, what are the challenges or gaps in your marketplace that you saw that led you to develop Sartoro?
I mean, fit is a huge one, right? That's a big concern for anyone buying really any clothing online, but especially something like a custom suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you buy a custom suit? You buy it, one, because you can design the different elements, but a big part of it is because you're going to get a better fit, right? Better fit than off the rack, which is great for people who either don't fit well in off the rack garments or who just want something that is a more premium feel and fit to something that they'd buy in store. Right, getting that fit right online is quite a difficult challenge to solve, and it's a lot of work on our part to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of the competitors in the space are constantly dealing with and facing and figuring out how can we better solve fit.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, typically that has always been an in-person scenario on the fitting side.
Yep, because it's a pretty simple equation, right? Great inputs equal great outputs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the quality of the fit is only going to be as good as the inputs that come in or the ability to analyze the inputs that come in against data using AI, using historical data, and creating a set of measurements that go to production that give it the best chance of having an exceptional fit. And that's really how we approach it. It's taking the data that we do get from the customers, and even before that, setting up our system in a way where it is convenient, efficient, and manageable for someone to give us the data that we need without it taking a considerable effort or being exceptionally difficult to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of brands that participate in the online custom space will require full measurements, right? Measurements are inherently difficult to take. If you follow the directions clearly and you have someone helping you, you can do it, but it is definitely easier said than done, right? And so
Right.
we've taken a bit of a different approach where while we do allow customers to follow photo and video tutorials to take their full measurements, we leverage what's called our digital tailor, which takes more straightforward inputs: your height, your weight, your age, your pants waist, your shoe size, and other pieces of information that you already know about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Things related to your torso shape, jacket size, neck size. We take those inputs and when we run them through an algorithm that spits out a full set of body measurement data. We also compare that against our historical orders as well as standard sizing information for what a typical 42 regular would be if someone
Mm-hmm.
is used to wearing that size. And all of that information kind of blends together and it's analyzed, and we use it to massage a final set of data and measurements that end up going to the tailors. And that's how we're able to kind of do a cut above what I think pretty much all other brands that I'm aware of are doing, because we're taking these multiple different pieces into our analysis before we ever go to production, right? We never
Nice.
just take someone's measurements and just make the suit. It's really, there's a lot more that goes into it.
Right. That's pretty interesting. So you, your measurement solutions that you just described kind of is your biggest differentiator in the marketplace.
It's one of them for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because again, that's probably the biggest concern, right? Because you could have the nicest, most expensive fabric in the world, which we would say probably isn't worth it, but you
Mm-hmm.
could have that, and if it doesn't fit well, it's going to look worse than a very mediocre fabric that fits you like a glove,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is the most critical piece in our opinion, fit over fabric. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, my family, the men in my family, especially, have always been akin toward looking nice and getting semi-custom suiting. So I have a little bit of familiarity with that mindset as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about custom suiting when they're shopping?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to fit, right? Most people can't imagine a situation where they could order a custom suit online and it's going to show up fitting well,
Mm-hmm.
right? We kind of have this, excuse me, image in our mind of what the process involved in a custom suit means, and it's typically going into like a dimly lit tailor shop in England or Italy. You're sipping on whiskey while sitting on a leather couch, browsing through fabrics. The tailor comes out and takes 60 different measurements on you. You come back in for 3 or 4 fittings and adjustments, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
what kind of comes to mind for most people when you think of a custom suit.
Right.
And thought of not doing any of that and expending about a 100th of the effort and still getting something that fits well, it's hard for people to wrap their head around until they experience it.
Cool. Great description. Great description. So, do you have any maybe customer success stories based on its testimonials or maybe something, a story bigger than that about your mission that you could share with the folks here?
Yeah, I mean, we get great testimonials all the time. I wouldn't be able to like quote any off the top of my head, but the gist of them would be we've had many customers write reviews that actually say things like, I came in with really low expectations. I actually expected to hate the suit and confirm my thoughts that this was a terrible idea. And then I got it. And I was like, wait a second, this actually fits way better than it should from what I thought it was gonna. And my concerns turned into like, delight. And we see that all the time, right? We get reviews from people who talk about how they never fit in anything off the rack and they hated going into a shop to do it. And this just made it so much easier for them. It's always great for us and our team to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. That keeps the fire burning. Having feedback like that for sure.
Yeah, no, it's great, especially because we don't have a direct interaction with every single customer, right? So when we get reviews and we see what people are saying about the stuff that we're sending to them,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great motivator for the team. It
Yeah.
really just keeps them excited and going.
Yeah, that's great. So, do you see any trends looking ahead for custom suiting? Like, is the industry changing? Maybe is Sartoro going to continue to try to re-evolve the niche?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's in general an increasingly positive sentiment towards custom clothing. I mean, if nothing else, it's inherently probably the only part of the clothing industry that's not dreadfully wasteful. And
Mm-hmm.
terrible for the environment because everything's made to order. We're not stocking hundreds of size 40 regular suits that if they don't sell are thrown out at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's inherently better for the world. And I think people increasingly appreciate it when they have clothing that's really made to fit them and their body type, and just the increase in choice that they get along the way in doing it, being able to pick out what buttons you want or what lining or what style of jacket. Um, there's a lot of enjoyment that goes into that because they feel like they were kind of part of the process, part of the
For
design
sure.
process.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, for other business owners and entrepreneurs that are listening today, do you have any advice for them? Like, maybe some potholes to look out for, or how they could stay ahead of the curve while trying to operate their e-commerce business?
Yeah, I mean, there's many directions you could go with that. I think it's pretty clear in today's world, stay on top of AI and the efficiency gains it can afford. It's a big differentiator if you're leveraging it effectively, and it's going to be something that leaves you behind if you don't. I think that's very key. I always talk about with my staff, and when I'm doing calls like this on um, my 95% rule.
Mm,
And it really surrounds the concept that perfectionism is the enemy of progress, right? Especially in a startup business, right? Where you have a lot going on as a founder. There's many decisions you have to make, there's many things you have to get done. Every project, every task, you could look at it on a scale of 0, I haven't started it yet, to 100% perfect. In my view, getting something 95% of the way to perfect, which as a side note, doesn't really exist.
right.
But whatever you think perfect is at the current time, getting it 95% of the way there, I think takes about 50% of the effort. It's that last 5% that takes another 50%. And in most cases, doubling your effort isn't worth that last 5%.
Right.
It's much better to get things out there early, to learn from them. In the same vein, if you're spending half the effort, you're going to be able to get twice as much done. You're going to get twice as many different projects and tasks done if you're not worried about, oh, this has to be absolutely perfect when I release it to the world and get it
Hmm.
out there in front of potential customers. I think that approach slows you down and is just more costly in the long run.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, I totally agree with that. I hear a lot of interviewees talk along the same lines, just, to shorten it up, like a just get stuff done mentality.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to get stuff done, right? And really, what it comes down to, why some people succeed or some businesses succeed or don't, it's the execution. And a big part of the execution is your efficiency, right? If you have the world's best execution, but it takes you, exponentially longer than your competition,
Right.
well, unless you're Apple, it's probably not going to end well for you.
Right, right. Perfection is in the eye of the beholder, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you're delivering something really nice to the marketplace that is unique and well made, that's a really good treat for a lot of folks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So looking ahead, what's next for Sartoro? Kind of big picture stuff.
We're making a lot of big changes this year. We're expanding our suit collection and our offerings to add a pretty large number of luxury fabrics, merino wools, Italian made fabrics, super 120s, super 130s, bamboo fabrics, a whole bunch of new shirting. So we're really expanding our options to offer a range of price points for the market, right? We have some customers that want something as economical as possible, and others who want the nicest possible fabric,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we're expanding our offerings to be able to better serve people that want those things, adding a lot more variety to our collection for those unique requests that we get, unique colors and styles. We're retooling our suit designer, which we're very excited about, to enhance the experience there, as well as a complete overhaul of our digital tailor to make our sizing even more accurate, even more straightforward, and even more simple for the customer than it is now.
That's awesome. Nothing better than serving more customers the way they want to be served. Sounds like a really
Thank,
good growth strategy there, Andy. I like it.
thank you.
Yeah. So how can listeners get involved or get in touch with your brand?
You can visit the site at sartoro.co. Our Instagram is at sartoro.co. That's our primary channel now. We're on Facebook as well under the same name. And there's a lot of ways to reach us across those platforms. We also offer virtual consultations, which is, I think, pretty unique to what we do. So you can actually schedule a meeting, a video call that'll be with a member of our team where you can get all your questions answered. You can get help designing your suit, picking out options, suiting up your wedding party, whatever you'd like to do. We love talking with customers and helping them out on a personal basis.
That's awesome. That's very unique. Love it. So that's a wrap, folks, on today's episode with Mr. Andy Fine, founder of Sartoro, a brand proving that custom doesn't have to mean complicated. From AI powered fittings to vertically integrated manufacturing in Vietnam, Andy's vision is reshaping how men think about suits, style, and the shopping experience. If today's conversation got you thinking about leveling up your wardrobe or your business model, head over to sartoro.co to explore the collection and see how effortless made to measure can really be. And remember, in a world of off the rack solutions, be bespoke, stay sharp, stay curious, and until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Stephen.